Hey, have you ever watched the movie Gladiator? If you haven't, stop watching this right now and go watch Gladiator. I'm not going to pause for 2 hours, but you should definitely do that. But if you have watched it, there's a scene at the end where all these gladiators are sent to an arena. And the main intent of them being there was for the entertainment of others. They were going to be entertained by the pain and death that was going to be administered to these gladiators that are there. Now, they're basically waiting to be slaughtered, and Russell Crowe, whose name in the movie is Maximus, looks around to others, and he says this phrase. He says, now, whatever comes out of those gates, we have a better chance of survival if we work together. I'm not by any means trying to imitate Russell Crowe because that would be pitiful and awful. And I'm sorry if I offended you by thinking that that's what I was doing. Anyway, this week, we're not in a gladiator arena. We're in Saskatchewan. But there's something that has come out of the gates that is seeking to destroy us. It's seeking great adversity with us. I don't know whose entertainment this is for, but the cold is definitely a worthy adversary. It is taking down people, taking down trucks, taking down equipment. Things just aren't working well because it's cold. Now, we quickly identify the cold as being an opponent to staying warm, but is that all we think about when we think about the cold? It's cold. I'm cold. I need to get some warmer clothing. The thing is, when we're distracted by one thing, there's often many other things that are affected by it. It's not just the cold or the clothing that we need to be concentrating on, and yet that's our mode of survival. That's our first thing that we need in order to survive to the next day. So that's what we concentrate on. That's what we focus on so much. Now, what happens in the movie Gladiator when the gates do open? So they quickly realize as soon as the gates open, we have no chance of survival. We are done. Like, in a matter of 5 minutes, we will no longer have our lives. But what do? They stop the clock, and they talk. No, they didn't really talk with each other. It was more like yelling. But what they did was they communicated with each other. They came together. They got together, they communicated in a way and got together. Those that didn't communicate, those that decided to tackle this on their own, they were slaughtered immediately. Those that got together, those that communicated, they didn't focus on the immediate problem coming out of the gates, but rather took a step back, took the time to say, hey, I can't do this on my own. I need help. They survived. You watch the movie, it's much more adventurous than they survived, but nonetheless, how often do we do that with the cold? Do we stop and just look at the cold and say, it's cold, I need clothing, I need this, I need that? No. Do you actually realize that your communication is probably being impeded somehow, some way because of the cold? Tempers are flaring, things are breaking, things are not going well together. But don't forget to talk with each other. Even if it involves yelling with each other, get that key communication across with each other. And stay warm.